Now I know what you're thinking, the Tominator's stopped taking his meds, but it's quite the opposite actually, because I've just taken a total overdose. Back in the early 2000s, one video game series ruled the roost, and that series was Grand Theft Auto. And any game that even remotely resembled GTA was labelled a cheap knockoff, a waste of time, a waste of pesos. One of those games was Total Overdose, released in 2005, developed by Deadline Games. Now, I know first impressions may give off a cheap GTA knockoff vibe, but let me tell you, I've loved this game ever since it was released, and that's solely down to how fun the game's combat is. It's like GTA, Max Payne and Crazy Taxi crossed the border into Mexico, got pissed up on tequila, had a threesome, and 9 months later, out popped Total Overdose. The game auto-locks to whichever enemy you're facing. Press the right trigger to fire and the left trigger to enter bullet time. This is where the Crazy Taxi part comes in. When you kill an enemy, a countdown timer starts. Kill another enemy and it will reset, and you want to keep the kill combo going for as long as you can. The longer the combo, the more style points you earn, and the faster you'll level up. This is all insanely fun to do, and once you get used to the basics, that's when the real fun begins, and is where I really have to take my hat off, or sombrero should I say, to Deadline Games. If you're side facing a wall and press the left trigger, you'll perform a wall walk. Not only does this look sick, but it automatically puts you in bullet time so you can concentrate on whichever enemy you want to sink some lead into. Same goes for the wall bounce, which is activated by facing a wall and pressing the left trigger. The next masterstroke by Deadline Games is how they handled headshots. Once the game targets an enemy, you can hold down the X button, which makes the target close in on the enemy's head and briefly turn yellow. Fire at the right time to perform a bullseye. And lastly, we have the Loco Moves. You can only hold 2 of each Loco move at a time. Select the one you want to use with the D-pad and then press up on the D-pad to activate it. Great for when you're low on health, need a quick kill to keep a combo going, or taking down a boss. All these moves combined create a truly unique, incredibly fun combat system that deserved way more praise than it got at the time. Killing 3 enemies in a combo will reward you with extra health or a Loco move. Instead of extra lives, you get rewinds, which is a brilliant feature and keeps the action flowing. Holding down the B button will lock onto explosives instead of enemies, and as far as combat is concerned, Deadline Games covered every angle. Now, Total Overdose isn't really open world. The map is split up into small, open world-esque sections where the main quest and challenges take place, with some areas being far more graphically appealing than others. While the graphics and atmosphere are great in some places, they can be pretty generic and lackluster in others. Outside of missions, the game's a little bit lifeless. When you want to steal a car, the driver kindly moves over and comes along for the ride, which kinda kills the mood if you ask me. There's no real wanted level either. If you kill someone, then the cops attack you when they see you. That's about it. No high-speed chases, no road spikes, no SWAT teams, no roadblocks, no helicopters, just you and Juan, who wouldn't fuck off. Also, the driving is abysmal, with every car handling the exact same, and turning the mildest of corners while accelerating will cause you to power slide, making the Duke vibrate so much that at one point it shook off my sombrero. Total Overdose isn't really meant to be explored the same way GTA is. Yes, it has stat boosting collectibles hidden around the place and some slow motion GTA stunt jumps, but it all feels like busy work. But again, Deadline Games provides a quick and easy way to keep you playing and the action rolling. By pressing the back button, then Y, you're given a list of all the available challenges and missions. Select the one you want and you're instantly transported to the mission's location, ready to go. This mission select system saves the game. And I don't mean saves your progress, I mean literally. And again, I have to take off my sombrero to Deadline Games, because they could have easily forced us to drive around this confusing game with no minimap to extend the overall length of their game, but they didn't. Besides the challenges, there's only one main quest, to find out who killed your father. You play as your father in the tutorial mission, which ends with him being thrown out of a plane. You then take control of his son, Cruz, who in the first mission gets blown up and put in a wheelchair. Cruz then suggests to his commander to let his twin brother out of jail to act in his place and find out who killed their father. From there, the story plays out much like a GTA game, with you befriending criminals, double-crossing crime bosses, infiltrating strongholds, trying to find a leak in the DEA, and pretty much murdering anyone who has the slightest connection with your father's death. And I like it. I love the Mexican setting and overall character of the game. She's hot. The music and soundtrack, while nowhere near as vast as GTA's, is still banging, with some great original music kicking in when the action starts. The story mission locations are varied and fun to play through, and if you ask me, the pros far outweigh the cons. Okay, maybe at the time it didn't offer you San Andreas levels of game time, but I'm guessing that Deadline didn't have Rockstar's budget either, and I think what they created was the beginning of something great. Total Overdose did get a spin-off on the PSP a few years later called Chili Con Carnage, and the sequel, Total Overdose 2 Tequila Gunrise, which was going to be a true open world adventure and include an entire map of Mexico, was cancelled when Eidos Interactive pulled out. What a fucking tragedy. And in 2009, Deadline Games went to developer heaven. So yeah, Total Overdose absolutely deserves its place in the attic. But I do, however, have the last game ever released by Deadline Games. Tune in next time to find out if it was another underappreciated classic, or we should all just be thankful Deadline Games died when they did. See you next time.